Hey everybody, I have a really cool card to share with you. It's Dina from the Creativity Cave. I'm so excited to stamp with you because check this out. How cool is this card? I really have to tell you, this is one of those sets, and I know I do this too all the time. You tell me that you see a stamp set and you don't think it's that great, and then I show you a project that makes you want to love it and then want to buy it and then have to buy it. Well, that happens to me too. I'm totally just like you guys. I saw this mermaid stamp set. It is Magical Mermaid from the main catalog, and I was not going to get this stupid set. Are you kidding me? But of course, just like you, I saw a card that I just loved and I had to get it. So I actually just got this stamp set last week. And here is the first card that I've made with it for this week's What Will You Stamp Challenge. So you can check out all the details for this project on my blog, as well as a link to the What Will You Stamp Challenge blog. And you can join us in with this stamp set if you have it. And it's such a cool set because of the details that are in it. So I really like it. And I love the sentiment. So when I saw this, I knew two things. I knew I wanted to emboss the mermaid in gold because actually the card that inspired me was a card that my downline member Andrea had made. And she used gold embossing on her card. And I thought it was really spectacular looking. The other thing is I knew I wanted to make a shaker card because hello, that's kind of fun. So let me show you how to make this card. It's actually not too complicated. There's a few steps involved, but it's not bad. All right, to start with, we're using the Magical Mermaid set, as I mentioned. I want to go ahead and I just have a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and this is just a little bag filled with like talcum powder. I'm going to use this side of it, and I'm just dropping that powder on here, and that is to prevent like the oils in my fingers from getting on my cardstock and adhering the embossing powder to it, places I don't want, as in not my stamp. Okay, so I have my little mermaid on a block here. I'm going to ink her up in some Versamark ink and then stamp her down onto my cardstock like so. Okay. And of course that's clear ink, so you can't really see it, but I'm going to take my embossing powder. This is gold embossing powder. I got a little carried away when I started stamping many years ago and bought a whole bunch of gold, and it turns out you don't need that much powder. It lasts a really long time. So here's my giant jar of gold embossing powder. But there we go. I've got powder on my mermaid, and then we're going to heat set her. So the embossing powder melts, and we're left with a gold mermaid goddess. Okay, so I'm just going to emboss this I heat from behind with my embossing tool. I can see where the where it's melted, and then just keep moving. There it goes. And I love embossing. I've actually been doing a little bit more of it lately. I kind of find that I'm a little lazy for embossing, but every once in a while it's so worth doing because it's so beautiful. So I have to laugh. I was making this card yesterday, and I was trying not to work at all yesterday because I had my summer camps on Friday and Saturday, and I was really tired because it was a lot of work to have two back-to-back all-day events, but we had such a good time. Anyway, I came into my office, and the Green Bay football game was on, so I might have tuned it in, and as I was finishing my card up, they might have won, so it was good. All right, I'm going to take my aqua painter and color her in, and the coloring is a piece of cake. Let's see, I used Soft Sky on her because I wanted it to be nice and soft looking. So I'll just pick my Soft Sky ink up on my aqua painter, which I realize now is bone dry. So let's get the water flowing a little bit in here. There we go. So I'm just going to go over the surface of her little mermaid fins like so. So that's really easy. And then I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay and add a little bit of kind of detail. So what I want to do is just drop little dots kind of all over. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making it polka dotted, but no. Have you ever seen like mermaid scales? Or actually I see an ad on Instagram all the time, and it's for a phone case that's like mermaid style. It's really kind of cool. So then once you get a bunch on there, it looks kind of neat, I think. So that's how I did that. Then let me just clean my brush off a little bit. Where's my... I keep forgetting to put my towels back where I normally keep them. Goodness gracious. Okay, now I'm going to color her hair in with some chocolate chip ink, because in my book, she is a brunette. I don't know what color hair mermaids are supposed to have, but mine will have brown hair. So I love how the embossing kind of holds the color in place so it doesn't bleed out all over. You know, it just kind of stays in one area, which is kind of cool. Okay, so there we go. Next, I want to color her skin in just a little bit, and I found the best way to do that is I took some Blushing Bride. I'm going to squeeze the lid to my pad, and then I'm going to touch just a little bit of chocolate chip to kind of get that color warmed up a bit. And now I have sort of a fleshy color, and I'll just kind of go, yeah, that's just a light fleshy color. And that will work just perfect for her skin. Okay, there we have it. Now I'm going to fussy cut her out. So I'll probably speed that up on the video because you probably don't want to watch this. Whenever I do fussy cut though, I leave a little border. Okay, so there she is, so pretty. All right, now let's put the rest of the card together because that's actually the easy part. So first of all, I'm going to start with a Bermuda Bay card base. I'll fold that in half, and then I'll take a little scrap paper, because what I'm going to do is sponge the edges of my card base. I wanted that to be just a little darker, so I'll grab my sponge dauber and just go around the edges. So it's very simple to just rub this ink right over the top. The next thing we're going to do is create a background with our Whisper White cardstock, which is going to show up below. So I'll set that aside to dry. So I've got a panel of Whisper White cardstock. Now on here, I'm going to use several colors. I have Soft Sky, Pear Pizzazz, Pool Party, and Bermuda Bay. So I'll get those ink pads open, and we'll do a little bit more sponging. I always like to go from light to dark in this. So we'll start with some Soft Sky. And when I'm doing this, I'm kind of going zigzaggy. I don't want it to be real even. I want it to be a little, I want there to be some texture, because the ocean isn't just solid color. There's stuff going on in there. Okay. So there we go. That looks pretty good. All right. Then we'll move up to a slightly darker color, which is Pool Party. And again, we want to leave some of the Soft Sky showing, but we're going to add some Pool Party, and then I will continue with Pear Pizzazz because I want a little greenery in here, and I think this is where it looks kind of oceany. We're also going to stamp with some Pear Pizzazz. There's some like seaweed in our stamp set. And then finally, we'll add a little bit of Bermuda. Now this is our darkest color, so we don't want to go crazy with it, but we've got it in there. So I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Oh, we're not on Facebook Live. You can't tell me. Ooh, whoa. That was a dark line. All right, I got a little carried away. Oops. Oh, well, it's fine. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to next take my aqua painter. Actually, I wanted to leave that one open. I'm going to take my aqua painter and add a little bit more texture to this. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm squeezing my aqua painter so it's really wet. You can see there's a drip ready to come out, but it's not quite there yet. And then I'll just take my scissors and use this. Let me move this out of the way. It's spritzing with my aqua painter, so it's spritzing with water. So I'm just going to tap on here. And what it does is all that water goes on here, and then I can take a tissue and just pick it up. I'll just grab that ink, and then what I have is like drips all over. So that just adds to the texture. So you can do this whether it's a watercolored background or sponged ink, it will do the same effect. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to add that seaweed I mentioned in some Pear Pizzazz ink. So I'll put a little over here. And I keep, you know what? Let me show you something. I caught the edge of this on my sample and then it made me really mad, but then I put the card on upside down. So let me just trim this a little bit so I don't do it again today, because I see I caught the edge just a touch there. I'm hoping my oval window will cover that up. Oh, but doesn't that frustrate you when that happens? There, that looks good. Okay, so I'll stamp this just a couple times on here. I probably don't need quite that much, but again, we're going to cover a lot of this up, but I just wanted it to be like that. All right, now I have I've die cut and I've embossed this panel of Bermuda Bay, and you can see, oh, perfect. So when I went to make this card, I was so mad at myself because I positioned it completely wrong. It's upside down from what I intended it to be, so I was mad. But anyway, here is our card, and actually I think it is supposed to go this way. But see, that doesn't work, so I'm going to keep it that way. Oh my gosh. Don't mind me, I'm just a little crazy. Okay, so I'm going to take some basic black ink, and the saying that comes in the stamp set is so sweet: mermaid kisses and starfish wishes. So I'll stamp that right here in the center in black. And that allows me to position it exactly where I want it on my white panel. They're not attached yet, I just have it sitting on top. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, and by the way, don't the ruffle embossing folder, this is one of those textured dynamic folders. Doesn't that look like waves? I think it's kind of cool. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do to put this together is we're going to turn this into a shaker card. So let me show you how you do that. It's very easy. It helps when you have your shaker or your, this is window sheet material. So I'm just going to take a piece of window sheet and adhere it to the back side of my oval. Okay, just got to trim it really quick. Hold on one moment. All right, so to do this, I actually just took some glue dots. I could use Fast Fuse too, but glue dots were just easy. And I attached these in the corners. Yeah. Okay, I attached these in the corners so that I was covering the whole window like so, and that looks good. Then I'm going to use my foam adhesive strips to go around the window with this piece of foam. This is what's creating the shaker kind of cavity, if you will. So I'm just going to go right around that edge, kind of bending as I go. I want to stay on my window sheet, of course, but this is going to hold all of my shaker material inside. And if you've never seen me do a shaker card, one of my favorite shaker materials to use is actually, I just need a little bit more of this strip. There we go. One of my favorite materials to use is actually something you might have laying around your house, which is kind of fun. You can also get this on Amazon. And it is called desiccant or silica gel. The packets come like this, and you find them like in purses and shoe bag or shoes boxes, different things that need to stay dry in their packaging have these packets. So they're really awesome, and they're just clear balls. Then what I did was I put them in a little container with a drop of reinker. Now I have two different colors in here right now. I did Bermuda Bay, and I also did some Pear Pizzazz. So I have two colors in here, but all I did was put one drop in here with a bunch of these little silica beads. Then I shook it up real good, and then I am going to put it in here. Now, the last time I did this, most people think I'm genius, which of course I can't argue with that logic. But the last time someone was horrified because babies could eat this. Well, babies aren't supposed to be eating cards. So yes, if your baby broke open your card and ate it, that would probably be bad. But I'm assuming you're not going to send this to a baby. So no, you should not eat silica gel. That can be dangerous, but in this case, I think it's a really cool use of this. By the way, I also noticed it at the hobby store in like the floral department. The one I saw had clear beads, and then it also had interspersed some like real light blue beads. But I think it would still work for this. You know, you might have to pick out the blue ones if you didn't want them that color. But anyway, so I just dumped some in here. All right. And then I'm going to remove my little backing paper. So I guess what I'm saying is don't condemn me as a horrible person for using silica beads, because as long as you don't eat your card, you're fine. Okay, so I just placed this on the back, and then look at my shaker. And it's got all of the little sequin. Oh, as I was talking, I dumped some sequins in here. That is from the mini sequin trim that I embellished with this. I just pulled some off the string before I started my video, and then I dumped those in. Okay, now let's finish this card up because it is very simple and we're almost done. Speaking of that gold trim, here we go. I'm just going to put a length of it across my card and just adhere it on the two ends with my glue dots. Oh, they're right here. And last but not least, I shall add another little length. I tried to tie a bow, and it was not what you would call successful with this trim. It's not really meant for bow tying, so I don't know what I thought I was going to get, but it did not work out. Anyway, but what I did think was kind of cool was I put just a length like this, halfway, a little, not quite halfway. I'm going to put a glue dot under here. And then I just added it to my card. And it just was to add a little something going down the side like that. And I like as it kind of curves and it's kind of cute. Okay, and then two more things. We're going to pop our mermaid up on top. So I'll just get some dimensionals. And we'll put several along our little mermaid, who's so dang cute. I'll never forget when I think I was in high school when The Little Mermaid came out, and I thought that was like the best movie ever. Until Aladdin came out, and then I thought that was the best movie ever. Okay, so there we go. Last but not least, we're going to mount that to our card that we had prepared earlier. And as soon as I find my fast fuse, we'll place that on. Isn't this gorgeous? So I think this is a really sweet card for lots of different people on your list, but certainly little kids would love this, but I think adults would too, because like I said, I do like this dang stamp set. Anyway, if you like this dang stamp set, would you please go to my online store? The link is in the description below this video, and you can check this out and all the other supplies on my blog post and order. I would so appreciate your business. You, of course, become a VIP member when you order through the Creativity Cave, and there's all kinds of awesome perks for that. Check them all out on my blog. Otherwise, I'll see you back here tomorrow for another awesome video, and thank you again so much for stamping with me today, guys. Bye. Oh, shameless plug. Facebook Live is today. So check that out as well. It's on my business page, facebook.com/creativity cave. We'll see you at 3 p.m. Central Time. Bye, guys.